Welcome back. Here's Bastion Assassin. I'm live streaming Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. Again, might notice that I finished. However, I promised we'd come back and do the Christina missions. Quick note on those. They are so good, and they provide such interesting characterization for Ezio and Christina, but they were not originally part of the game's lore. They were presented in the Assassin's Creed Renaissance novel by Oliver Bowden. I'm not going to provide too much commentary on that. If something comes up along the way, I might. But hey, guess what? My son found the Legend of Zelda TV series on DVD at the library today, so I need to take some time while I kind of do this in the background and watch that with him while he's awake. But I'm going to get this up here on Twitch and YouTube for you guys to enjoy. My commentary will be kept to a minimum. Anyway, without further ado, enjoy.
Warning to any seeking therapeutic cures at the hot springs of Bergamo. A recent increase in temperature has...
What about that one?
Oh, she is beautiful.
Okay, then go talk to her.
Just like that? Talk about what?
It doesn't matter. See, little brother, most men are so afraid of beautiful girls that anyone who actually talks to them has an advantage. Just make it up as you go.
What?
What?
Why are you just standing there?
Oh, because I wanted to ask you something. Which is... What's your name?
Not one you'll ever need to make use of.
Aspetta, I wasn't ready! I was planning on being really charming and funny. Can I just have a second chance? Oh well.
Ezio, all is not lost. You made her smile. She will remember you now.
No, I can still fix these. I'll follow her ways. See where she lives. Thank you for coming.
Of course, of course. Tell me, what can I do?
My family's bodies. I can't just leave them hanging from the gallows. I need to give them last rites. Send them on to the next world.
Capisco. Lead the way, Ezio.
Seguimi. Hang on. Fall in. Andiamo. They've already been cut down.
What are we going to do?
Hide yourself. I'm going to have a little talk with that guard. Where are the bodies that hung here?
They've already been taken.
Where? Tell me where they are.
I don't know. I think they were taking them down to the river to dump them.
No. Christina, vieni con me.
What will you do?
Only one thing to do. Kill them.
No, don't do that. They did nothing wrong.
They follow orders unquestioningly. That makes them...
Ezio?
Va bene. I'll sneak behind their backs. Get my family, one at a time if I have to. And carry them down to the river.
Be careful.
I love this mission and all it adds to the lore. Also, this is another scene, you know, obviously, which came from Assassin's Creed Renaissance, the novel. But I can't get over how awkward carrying the bodies looks, because it's the same animation as when you carry like an alive person in the AC games who keeps their head up, so it's just awkward and weird.
I have to leave the city. Christina, I want you to come with me.
I want to. But I can't. My family.
So we'll always be together, Christina.
Ezio.
Due to the recent resurgence of La Malaria in the Campo Marzio, restoration and cleaning were closed. Must be kept clear for the Guardia! Make way for the Guardia! Think of ways to strike the bastard. Here! Here!
She's almost criminal to pass by without looking at my fantastic wares.
4,000 gold scudi to the most valuable.
Ezio! What are you doing here?
I only just came back to Firenze. Look at you. Beautiful as ever.
Oh, Ezio, it's been 2 years!
And I've thought of nothing but you.
Oh, but Ezio,
What is it?
I'm engaged to be married. My father kept asking me to choose. I thought I would never see you again. Ah! It's Manfredo! He's going to kill him! What?
Tale he lost money to. He's dragged them out to the end of the new bridge.
Who the hell is Manfredo?
My fiancé!
Keep it up and I'll have the guard on you.
I'll pay you back, I swear! It wasn't my fault! I was supposed to have the money for you today, but the payment came in late! Cattivo!
Grazie, emissary. You don't know how close.
Whoa, hey! Aspetta! What are you doing?
Do you love her?
What?
Do you love her? Christina! The woman you're about to marry.
Yes, I do. I swear I do. Kill me here, and I will die still loving her.
You are never going to gamble again.
Never, Messere.
You will be a good husband to her. Or I will hunt you down. Kill you myself. He's fine. He'll make a good husband. I made sure of it.
What?
So, going along with the video I watched earlier today, the YouTuber in question pointed out, you know, how much Ezio loved her. He loved her so much that he was willing to let her be with Manfredo. And it's like, Christina didn't even love Manfredo. She was pressured into that marriage by her parents. And yes, her life would have been hard with Ezio, but it's not love to push someone away into a relationship they don't want to be with, and then still play with their emotions the way that Ezio does. That's what's especially awful about it. It was bad enough that he didn't want to be a part of her life, and then it's a step worse that he went and messed with her life. He kept playing with her head. It obviously gets even worse in the next mission if you've played this game before. But I'm not saying that I don't enjoy the story, but I don't think it's the same kind of quality romance. I'm taking this in the context of a guy saying, just ripping on Assassin's Creed Unity's romance, which is not about, it's not a story about the development of the romance, or even a lifelong romance. It's the story of a man who loved a woman, and a woman who loved that man, certainly, but not as much as she wanted vengeance. And his realization of that. It's what I think is interesting and very realistic, certainly to certain situations we see in real life, is that Arno and Elisa's romance is not symmetrical, for lack of a better word. That they don't love each other in the same ways or even in the same amounts, or neither the same quality nor the same quantity. And I think that's what made for a beautiful tragedy to be told in Assassin's Creed Unity, that Arno and Elise could have had at least a degree of happiness together if, in the most heated of moments in that game, she could have loved him more than her vengeance. Anyway, this is a good game, it's a good story. Unity's a good game and a good story. There's certain elements in the AC community that like to rip on certain games. I think it's fine to criticize a game, but these are people who are blinded by the ideas that they've pushed around for years, so much so they're blind to other perspectives. I think it's important to be able to take a step back and try to observe it somewhat objectively, which of course is difficult since we all have our own biases, but overall I enjoy Assassin's Creed. I'll leave it at that.
Ezio, I was hoping to see you tonight.
I don't have much time. The Doge's party starts very soon.
Nevertheless, I have news. I hear Christina Vespucci is in Venezia for Carnevale. Weren't the two of you close?
Once.
Perhaps it would have been better not to tell you. She's with her husband. She may not be too happy to see you.
No, it's wonderful. It's Carnevale. With this mask, she need not even know it's me. I know just the way to draw her attention. Grazie, amico.
I almost forgot my courtesans.
There. Now to wait her at the rendezvous.
This part especially bothers me. Him secretly, after 10 years of not speaking to her, allowing her to marry, shows up one night for a stolen kiss. It just bothers me. Under the guise of being her husband. Not sure how she could think that he was her husband. You know, he's wearing Ezio's clothes, but just suddenly has a mask on, and she can't see that it's Ezio. I don't know.
Ezio? What the hell are you doing here? How dare you?
Christina, it's all right.
All right? I haven't seen you in 8 years.
See, I was afraid you wouldn't come if I just asked.
You're right. I wouldn't have. Ezio, the last time I saw you, you kissed me in an alley and then left me behind to be married.
It was the right thing to do. He loved you.
Who cares what he wanted? I loved you. You had your second chance. Please, Ezio, don't ever find me again.
This is part of the problem with Ezio, at least in this particular narrative, that he sees Christina as someone to protect and a problem to be solved, and so spends his time solving her problems instead of thinking about what she actually wants, which was to be with him. And then once it's too late, he comes around just for a kiss, which is obviously a problem. And I'm fully with Christina right there. Like, it's just some pretty dumb stuff there, Ezio. Alright, let's go find the last mission.
Condolences are extended to all citizens of this nation for the loss of your ambassador.
And of course, all of it leads to this tragic conclusion where her life is miserable and ends early anyway. Sorry, spoiler, but Ezio, I mean, you really didn't make her life any better by staying out of it.
Manfredo! What happened?
Men. Savonarola's men. They came through, destroying everything.
Where is Christina? Manfredo! Where is she?
She ran. They went after her.
No!
Now, your fancy house, you expensive
Christina!
dress,
Run!
your sins against the Lord!
Your noble acts restore our faith.
What stands up to this credit? Just let me live!
That was a big oops. I should probably wait until I have a clear shot.
He's a king! Please don't kill me!
Christina, hold on. I'll get you to a doctor. You're going to be all right.
No, Ezio. I don't think I am.
No! Don't go. Stay with me, Christina.
Ezio, Don't you know? I've always been with you. I wish we could have had a second chance.
Requiescat in pace, my love.
Alright. Obviously, that's our final Christina mission for apparent reasons. I love this game. I love the Christina story. I think I was a little bit too harsh on it as I was going through this. We don't really get enough information, and it's not fleshed out enough for us to say, oh, it's a valid story, or it's not a valid story, or it's not a valid romance, or not. I think that primarily the sticking point for me is that it's contrasted oftentimes by Assassin's Creed YouTubers with the romance between Arno and Elise, and I think that the primary difference comes down to Ezio and Christina's mission is, Ezio and Christina's relationship is screwed up because of Ezio, whereas Arno and Elise's relationship is screwed up because of Elise. And it has nothing to do with gender or anything. It really has to do with your protagonist. You know, in Assassin's Creed 2 or Brotherhood, you play as Ezio, and so it kind of feels weird to have that player agency taken away from you, and that your character can't have a healthy relationship. Not due to any choices the player makes, but because that's the way the tragedy is written. You know, you have no less tragic story with Arno and Elise, but Arno is trying to do what he can to redeem himself in Elise's eyes. You know, which this is the primary narrative of Assassin's Creed Unity, is about him trying to make up for what she sees as how it was his fault that her father was killed. And I think that he never really gets to that point where he can redeem himself in her eyes, but she carries around this burning need for vengeance. You know, much like what Ezio carries around. I guess their stories are almost inverted, in a way. You know, Ezio and Christina didn't work out because Arno has nothing to do with Ezio and Christina, because Ezio's desire for vengeance was so great that he put himself in a place where he wasn't safe. And that resulted in Christina eventually being dead. Arno and Elise's relationship didn't work out again, but it wasn't because of Arno's desire for vengeance. It was because of Elise's, and that desire for vengeance. In just a moment, there's this split decision. Obviously, I'll talk about it when we get around to playing Unity, which I love. There's this moment in which Elise has a decision. It's a moment that's taken out of the character's control. Arno is pinned under a piece of fallen rubble, and Elise has to decide: does she go and help Arno so that they can go after Germaine together, or does she attack Germaine on her own? And that desire for vengeance, that fear of losing out on that chance for vengeance, drives her to attack him on her own and sees her dead. A no less tragic end, but a similar narrative. Anyhow, this has been great. It's been fun talking about Assassin's Creed with you guys and sharing just a little bit of gameplay with you. I'll be back in a little while to do the Desmond sequences right here from Assassin's Creed Revelations. It is the same game because I'm playing the Ezio collection, but it's not the same game because it's not. Anyhow, thank you for joining me, and as always, remember, just have fun.